Hello, how are ya? I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Of course, I'm Jason Walker. Getting started on a new type of project here that I want to showcase and kind of use as a pilot for you to maybe help stir some ideas or add to the creative box for you when you go to do some home remodels of your own. This is a house that I own here in Gillette, Wyoming, and it is a double wide that sits on a permanent foundation of piers. So a pier foundation is what that's called. You'll see that it's got some green skirting around it with the brown vinyl siding. Now here's a little bit of history behind this place. 2019, I believe, we had several hailstorms come through and wiped out the roof and the siding on this place. And since then I've been doing one piece at a time to get prepared for the moment that we're about ready to go through this year. So 2019, hailstorms come through, collected the insurance money of what I could, and my insurance company just paid out directly. They didn't hold the funds and wait for the work to get done. All of which, again, was just vinyl siding and an asphalt roof. That come with its quandaries, and of course vinyl siding super cheap. Of course I didn't get paid what I wanted, but it is what it is. They paid out square. I didn't complain about their payment to me. It's what I didn't predict is what happened since then, and that's unfortunate, but I still wouldn't trade how I got here today. So 2021, we did the concrete work around here, or excuse me, 2020. I hired a local concrete crew, and we did a lot of concrete work around this place. That was the beginning steps of what I wanted this place to look like when it was done. Now, if you're a neighbor of this property, my apologies. This thing's been an eyesore since 2019. But once you do a project of these magnitudes, it takes a little bit to get healed up financially, save up enough money, and go at it again. And in the middle of that, my son was born in 2020, so we had that experience and new set of bills coming along. So projects like this that are worthwhile, they take time, and it takes effort to save the money, and it takes the right actions to get from what you expect it to be to actually getting it done. I have people ask me once in a while, I don't know how you afford that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I save money out of every paycheck, and once I get to a point where I can pay for a project, then we go. So there's a little history of everything. Let's walk around and I'll show you some of the concrete work that we had done, what it means coming into this siding project, and then we'll be doing videos as we go. The construction company has agreed to be a part of letting me do videos as we go, and we're going to showcase their work for you. They are a new company here in town. I'm going to try them out. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is first, and then if they do quality work, of course, they'll get our recommendation, and we'll hang our hat on their work as we do with our other contractors. So anyway, let's flip over and get started. So first, this driveway, we extended that driveway to the left there. I think you can see it in the video, but this darker gray is the original concrete pour. The lighter gray here is what we did in 2020. I like the ability to park vehicles off street. If I'm living in town, I want to be able to park my vehicles off the street. That's what we've done on this property. We added a little bit here. Now you say one's wider than the other, it's not balanced. Well, it had to do with balancing the property and the widths of vehicles. I can park two vehicles in here tandem and still get the doors open. I mean, come on. If you want to park vehicles next to each other, let's make sure that they're not putting dents and taking paint chips out of your vehicles. So we made it nice and wide. We went as far as we could on the property line over here without encroaching the neighbor. And of course we balanced it with this sidewalk that we did next to the house here, and took into consideration how wide a vehicle is with its doors open. So this is how it ended up. We went to the back edge of the house. There's quite a bit of stuff around here right now, but that's all right. We got construction company here and people living here. So anyway, we took it to the edge of the house. Eventually, back here where these trailers are, we designed this to build a way oversized 2-car garage. What that size is going to end up being is to be determined, but if any of y'all know me, I build things that are nice and desirable. So it'll be oversized, maybe closer to the size of a 3-car. Now we got a little bit of slope running from the back of the house through here, so with the concrete we stair stepped up. So we got we had the driveway here, driveway here, sidewalk here, and then next sidewalk up. So we used the concrete job to stair step and fit the topography on how this lot lays, and it turned out pretty good. I'm super excited. I was super happy with how it all turned out. As you can see, this house is pretty well held out. Vinyl siding is junk in our country. I don't care what anybody says, it is junk. I would never recommend it. I know a lot of people put it on their houses to sell. They don't care. I happen to care. I happen to want to know that if I sell something, it's worth selling. So I'm calling all you homeowners out that use vinyl siding here. Personally don't like it. That's my opinion. I'll also point out in I believe it's 2017, we put in new windows on this house. Also getting ready for a new siding job. At that point, it was always part of the grand plan to have better siding here. So prior to the concrete, we did new windows all the way throughout the house, and got that done in preparation for all this. You can see, we got vents there for the crawl space. You'll notice them all the way around. You're going to notice things like this PVC pipe here. I put PVC pipe underneath the concrete and then daylight it out into the lawn. Get two things there. I get proper elevation and drainage away from the house. That concrete sloped, so that starts the drainage of water away from my house and my foundations. And then of course the water coming off the roof, we put in them PVC pipes, and you can see that I've extended it well past the concrete, getting it out into my yard. And of course that's free water to water the lawn. So you'll notice that as we go through, we preemptively designed that as a part of the project. The storage shed here, you're going to see it get a makeover as well as we go through the project. Getting the siding and the paint on the trim, and the one thing we're not going to do in this video series is the roof. That'll be the last thing of this job, is getting the roof done. Yeah, the storage shed's going to be getting a workover as well. There's another one of them PVC pipes. Now you can see here that concrete is level with this, so it's going to give our siding crew a head start on the work on this house. The plan is a wainscot on the bottom up about 4 feet, and then lapboard siding above that. We're going to use smart board and smart trim for this project, probably equal in comparison to concrete hardy board in the construction world anymore. The idea is that smart board is going to be about the height of the bottom of the window. The other thing you're going to see happening here, December of 2022 and January of 2023 were some of the coldest days we've had in several years. Several days below zero. We had 30 degrees below zero and 60 below zero wind chill temperatures. The one thing that we discovered in this house, waiting to do this siding job, which happened to be a blessing, was, I'll back up, was not a blessing at the time when it happened, but it's a blessing in getting this all designed and making sure we're doing the right thing, was with those wind chill factors, when they dipped the way they did, we actually had water lines that froze underneath the floor of this house, but were insulated. Now the belly of a double wide, as some of you know, comes with insulation, so there's insulation up underneath the floor. The water lines run in between that insulation and the subfloor. The wind actually found a way to penetrate the inside of this house and froze a water line from the hot water heater to the second bathroom in the kitchen. So that was something new. I've owned this house since 2014. That was a that was a surprise. Hadn't seen that one happen. So waiting to get this siding job done and picking the right materials and the right designs was actually an advantage. We could see that's about as brutal as a winter gets around here. So now we're going to be able to fix it, and this house is not going to ever have that problem again. Out front here, you can see now out front I did decorative concrete, but again we got the lift right here. And we did a big patio out front. Now this is all going to get tied in with our siding job, as you'll see as we go along. We got a crawl space door there. We're actually going to put another door back there where that on the opposite corner of this one, so future people will have two access points to the crawl space. We're going to have an electrician here. We're going to get the heat tape better, get some better outlets in. There's actually no outlets on the front of this house, so we're going to fix that. We're going to put another outlet over on the side of the house where there's parking, so those that have diesel motors can plug their vehicles in the winter time. All these things are important to, or should be important to a homeowner, and now's the time to get them fixed or address the situation. So that's what we're going to do here. We're also, I forgot to mention that. These walls on this double wide are 2x4 walls. In light of, now this house runs pretty efficiently the way it is. I've always been satisfied with the utility bills and just how it operates, especially in the wintertime, how cheaply it operates for the square footage. But we're going to take it a step further. As you see moving through the time lapse of this here in the next month, we're going to add, we're going to fur out the walls on the exterior 1.5 inches using 2x4s, and we're going to add insulation on the outside of the wall of this house. Again, this goes back to what happened in December, January this year with that one water line freezing in the house. And we're going to run that from peak to down to concrete. This will look like a stick-built home when we're done. We are not going to have what looks like skirting and then turn into siding. We're going to run everything clear down to the concrete. We're going to help insulate the crawl space of this house, and we're going to help insulate the house itself. Currently, the skirting has 0 insulation, so the 1.5 inches of insulation that we're going to be adding will do nothing but benefit that crawl space. It already keeps itself pretty warm on its own with the geothermal. We're going to pull an assist and run that insulation all the way down and just really insulate this house. And with that means we're going to have to do custom jams on the windows and pull everything out. and tie everything else back in real good. So I'm confident that our crew is going to get that done for us well, and I'm excited to show you all the progress of this work as we go. And take a look, there's our contractor. So good timing. I think that's it. Talked about the new windows being in a few years ago. We're going to insulate. We're going to do wainscoting down here, lap board up top. Oh, you'll see that I'm not going to buy or use pre-painted siding. The reason for that, this is a custom job. There's going to be a couple other areas that receive some customization around this house. So that's gonna, and we got the custom jambs that are gonna be built when we fur out the walls here and add the insulation. That means there's gonna be several seams to caulk and really address. So if we hand paint this after all the siding is done and all the customization is done, that means we're gonna help water seal this even tighter. We're gonna get a thicker mill levy on that paint. The companies, if you buy stuff pre-painted, they just spray it on as it goes through the factory, which by most standards is fine, but for my standard is not. We will hand paint, we will roll paint, and get a thicker mill on this siding and this trim when we're all done. So you'll see that later this summer or this spring, depending on how fast this project goes, and that will also attribute to the quality of work that'll be performed on this house when it's done. Time frame on this, the contractors told me that they're gonna have a couple obligations in the middle of this job that they're gonna have to take care of, so we're expecting about a month-ish. So we'll see how that plays out. So this will be a kind of a drawn out thing. This is not an instantaneous project. Again, with custom work and some customization that's coming into this, and standard stuff too. This stuff just doesn't happen overnight. You gotta take one step at a time. So anyway, hope you enjoy the ride and enjoy the process as this goes along. I know I'm super excited to get to this point. It's been a part of the grand plan since I bought the place nearly 10 years ago, 9 years ago to be exact. And here we are. We're starting to see another step of the master plan come to fruition. So it's a pleasure to have you on board, and hope you can all learn something out of this. And if you see something that I miss, leave a note in the comments or call me. I'll be sure glad to take a look at it, or address it, or tell you why I didn't do something the way I did. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.